In this video, I'm going to teach you a frame so powerful that it's almost going to feel manipulative. So much so that I actually had a rep that I taught this to who came back to me and he said, Adam, I don't feel comfortable using this. And so the frame is called an identity frame. And all it does, and what I explained to this rep as to why it's not manipulative, is the only difference between persuasion and manipulation is intent. And so what this identity frame does is that it helps a prospect adopt the identity of the person they need to become to make the purchase. It is not used to help them adopt the identity of the person that you need them to become for you to make the sale. And that is the key differentiator. And so if you don't know who I am, my name is Adam Taylor, and over at Nomadic Closer, we run a done-for-you sales growth firm where we build, manage, train, hire reps, completely hands-off, completely done for you. And so to kind of highlight this identity frame and how it can be used in sales and in any setting in life in which you need to help someone adopt the identity and adopt behaviors that are going to be more conducive to the outcome that you want. And so you can use this for good, you can use this for bad. I will teach you how to use this for good. And so just a little story to kind of drive this home. Back in the day, I used to manage a chain of gyms. And so at my gyms, when we had a team of people and we onboarded a new team member, gyms, people that work at gyms tend to be very much people. They're not there for spreadsheets, for numbers. They're there to be around people, to talk to people, communicate with people, interact with other people. And so one of the key elements of running a successful gym team is having an amazing environment, an amazing group of people to be a part of. And one of the things that defines that will be the very first interaction of a new team member with the current team. And so if you're not careful and intentional about this, what will happen is the established team will very, very often be standoffish to new team members and will put the responsibility on them to integrate with the team rather than having the team help the person integrate with them. And so what I did was every single time we would onboard a new team member or hire a new team member, in the group chat, I would make an introduction and I would then say in the group chat, please give so-and-so a super warm welcome, just like the amazing host that you always are. John, don't you worry. Every time that you meet a new team member, they always do this. They're going to come straight up to you and they're going to introduce themselves and give you a warm welcome and make you feel super at home. And so I would do this from the very beginning, even when they hadn't demonstrated this behavior. And what I was doing was I was already ascribing the current team members with the label of being amazing hosts and people that always take the first step, that always go and shake your hand, that always go and make you feel welcome and bring you into the team. Lo and behold, that is exactly the thing that they did consistently, and every single new team member felt incredibly welcome and drawn into and integrated into the team. And so what I was doing was just using an identity frame. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can use this in a sales setting. And if you stick around to the end, of course, I'm going to give you a little bonus frame as to how to get people to actually agree to this amazing label that we've given them. And so the identity frame. Now, you can use this in a sales call anytime that you pick up on character traits or something that they say that you want to highlight and draw them to be the person needed to make the purchase. The person needed to make the purchase may have some character traits like courage. They might need to be decisive. They might need to be action takers. They might need to be someone who takes responsibility for their own results or lack thereof. Somebody who doesn't defer responsibility to others. And so the way that this used to be done is we used to very abruptly and almost aggressively ask, so John, we're very selective about the people that we work with. And the people that we work with that have the most success have three main character traits. One, they are action takers. Number two, they are decisive. And number three, they are whatever. Are you these three things? And so the prospect would kind of have to say, yeah, I suppose so. This never came from them. You're just kind of almost demanding that they are these things. And then when they perhaps display different behaviors towards the end of the call, we would then call them out on it and call them out on their bullshit and say, hey, you said that you're decisive. You said you're an action taker. Why are you saying you're going to go and think about it? It doesn't work. It's a load of rubbish. And so this is the way that you do it. Anytime in the conversation you pick up on a character trait that you want to highlight, you say this. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go kind of sort of off the record. You're going to have a little bit of a pattern interrupt. And you're kind of soften and just, I have to say, John, just as a little side note, you are by far my favorite person to work with in this program. And so you're going to tell them that they are your favorite person to work with, your favorite type of person, or the type of person, you're by far the type of person that we see have the most success with these kind of things. And the second thing you're going to do is you're going to now create the enemy. And that could look something like this. You're going to say, because you can go into the depths of despair here. Because you wouldn't believe the amount of people that I speak to on a daily basis and now you're going to list off all of the characteristics and all of the traits that you don't want them to be, that you don't want them to display, and that you know is going to get in the way of them making the right decision at the end of the call, or even making a decision. Because you wouldn't believe the amount of people that I speak to on a daily basis who watch all the YouTube videos, they listen to all the podcasts, they download all the PDFs, they hop on calls like these. And then, they get all excited about this. They scroll around on Instagram seeing everybody else have success. But then when it comes to it, they say, let me go and have a little think about this. And they just kick it down the can, or they go and want to speak to their partners, or just, defer responsibility for their decisions to other people. It's maddening. It's crazy. And, you speak to them like a month, a year later, and they're in the exact same position. It's such a shame. And the third piece of this is you're now going to switch into the identity that you want to label them with. I'm going to say, but it's people like yourself who are decisive, who see a good opportunity and run with it when they see it, who don't delay their success and just kick it down the can for a maybe, could be, should be, would be kind of time frame, and make decisions that they know are going to get them closer to their goals. And the fourth element of this, and this is a little bonus for you, is how you get them to agree with this. And so what you're going to do is, if you notice, I've now leaned in to ascribe them with this identity, and they're going to lean straight back out and almost become apologetic and say, would that be fair to say, or I'm like way left field here? And by leaning out and suddenly sort of snapping out of your little trance and becoming apologetic, you're going to give the person room to now lean in and rescue you and make you feel better for making this terrible assumption and say, no, that sounds about right. And so now what we've done is we've connected, we've had a little heart to heart. We've painted the picture of the quote unquote enemy. We've listed off all of the characteristics. And here's the trick. Here's the kicker. If you can list off things that you know that they've already been doing, if they've told you, they've watched all the YouTube videos, they've looked into things before, they've not made a decision, highlight those, rattle them off, play them back, because you're not talking about them. You're talking about those other people, bless their cotton socks. Those other people that do all these things, and it's just such a shame. And you got to go hard on it here. The harder you go here, the better it's going to land. And if you feel uncomfortable because you feel that you're going to be stepping on some toes and they might feel like, oh, he's talking about me, you're having the opposite effect. Number one, get over yourself, relax. It's just sales. And if you're selling a product that you know is going to change their life, do everything in your power to help them see that. And the second thing is, they're not going to feel that way. The exact thing that's going to go through their head is, oh my God, that's me. And they're going to realize the error of their ways, and they're going to hope and pray that you don't see them in that light. They now don't want to be the person that you just feel so bad about and stay in the same position and just they're so exasperated about. Nobody wants to be that person. Nobody's going to sit there and be like, that's me. Got a problem with it? Nobody's going to do that. It doesn't happen. And so the harder you go here, the better this will land. And then what you're going to do is you're going to ascribe them with all of the amazing identity and character traits that is calling to their higher self. Their best version of themselves is decisive. Their best version of themselves invests in themselves. Their best version of themselves moves forward fearlessly towards their goals. It's not even about achieving the goal. It's just taking a step towards them rather than away from them. And the last piece and the bonus piece to get them to agree with it is you almost apologize for making this assumption about them, not even knowing them that well. And you're going to lean back out and say, I mean, would that be fair to say? I'm like way left field here. And so if you use this correctly, you can use this in a sales conversation, but you can use it in any aspect of life. If you want to get your partner to wash the dishes potentially, then you can ascribe them to this label as, man, you keep such a neat home, and you're such a neat and tidy person. Like, it's just such a joy to live with you. I just wanted to let you know I've been thinking about it lately, and I see all the effort and work that you put in around the house. Like, I really admire you for that. It's phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. Even if they're not doing it, just highlight something small that they did. What are they going to do? They've now been ascribed with this label. So the big thing here, what's at play, is the big words called congruency. Now that we have agreed that this is the identity, this is who I am now compelled to act accordingly. One of the biggest internal struggles of people is incongruence. When I say that I'm going to go to an event, and then I kind of don't feel like going, I have this internal struggle. It keeps me up at night. I think about it. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go. I gotta tell them I don't want to go anymore. And we feel terrible about it because we're being incongruent. And so this, funnily enough, will have one of two outcomes. And just a word of warning here. Number one, you will close more deals, because you call people to the best version of themselves, and you help them adopt the identity of the person needed to make the purchase. The second thing that will happen is they will disappear in a puff of smoke at payment. If there is something holding them back, if there is something that they still feel uncomfortable about, or still something that's not been uncovered in the discovery, what will happen is, rather than say no at the end, they will say yes, and they will hit the end button on the Zoom recording, because they have absolutely nowhere else to go other than being congruent. And so you will have one or two outcomes. Number one, you'll close more deals. Number two, you'll have more people hang up and disappear in a puff of smoke at the end of the call. And all you need to do to troubleshoot this is then just go back upstream and find out, where did I not uncover this issue, concern, obstacle that they may have had? And of course, you're gonna have to do a bit of guesswork because they didn't tell you. But this, in my experience, always far outweighs this. And so, identity frame, one last time. Off the record, I have to say, John, you're by far my favorite person to work with around here, because you wouldn't believe the amount of people that I speak to on a daily basis that hop on calls like these. They shop around, they're scrolling around on Instagram, see everybody else living the life and having all the success and doing all the things that they actually really deep down want to do. But then when it comes to the crunch, at the end of the call, they say, let me go and think about it. Let me go and save up, absurd amounts of money so that, I feel comfortable with this decision. Or they go and, further responsibility to other people. They go and speak to their partner who had absolutely nothing to do with the call and knows nothing about their goals and their struggles. It's just such a shame, it really bothers me. It breaks my heart, because I know what we can do for people, and I know the results on the inside. And it's just such a shame that people don't have that courage and conviction to just step up and just invest in themselves. But it's people like yourself that do that see that understand that it's just about moving towards your goals and investing in yourself and backing yourself and taking on that responsibility and burden of commitment to their goals. That I love working with people like yourself on that. But sorry, I've gone off on a complete side tangent here. Would that be fair to say, or am I way left field here? And so what you're going to do then, have them agree, boom, move forward, great, have a phenomenal conversation after that, because at this point we've really connected. This person feels seen, understood, heard. They feel that they've been seen in this amazing light. And ultimately what you're going to do is you're going to be able to help more people. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And so If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button somewhere down here. Make sure you subscribe to this because there's going to be way more content like this. It's going to help you close more deals and grow your sales. And if you didn't like it, I love you anyway. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.